I'm going to be explaining Traveler lore by heart, and so this is going to be fun, right? I'm going to break it down because a lot of people don't even like Traveler lore when it comes to Vampire Diaries. But anyways, we have Silas, Ketsia, and Amar. We have Immortality Elixir, we have Doppelgangers, we have Betrayal of the Heart, right? After Silas is entombed by Ketsia, they kill Ketsia. The Travelers, they kill Ketsia. And after they kill Ketsia, there's this whole thing of like, I mean, it completely split. Like this whole immortality spell split the Wish community. Prior to the Wish community, let's talk about even before the Amara, Ketsia, and Silas situation. The Travelers are the original coven. What do you mean by that, Demetrius? I mean, 2,000 years ago, when there's witches and there's this, there's that. Travelers are this huge coven that had like, if we're talking the Hope Monks of the world, right? Uh, the Nadus, the Dahlias, the all their lineage, all their bloodlines trace back to, in theory, the Travelers, because this is the original coven. How is this the original coven, right? Because due to this immortality spell being created, the Wish community split. It's the first time that ever happened, gang. Like that's like the Wish community split up, gang, which means that at some point they were all together. Which means that at some point there was no conventional witches. You dig me? There was just travelers, gang. You feel me? People who had power and utilized it without, you feel me? The nature monitoring, the monitoring of nature, or the monitoring of the spirits, or this or that. They just had power. And to be honest, I think the travelers had expression, whatever, but whatever. Because really think about it, right? The immortality spell is created. Wham. Nature immediately starts to die. That's weird. But the immortality spell isn't monitored by nature. You feel me? Nature had to immediately make a comeback. So like once the immortality spell was created, it was just done. It was over with. By the time that nature decided to create doppelgangers, right? They're just now trying to reset things back on balance. It was a long time before it was a long time before nature created the doppelgangers. Genuinely. And I could dive deeper into that. Right now I'm not in that headspace to do so. But yeah, it was like nature was having like a response situation. It was a response to something. You feel me? Which means that the magic that they used in the mortality spell was not monitored by the spirits or monitored by nature. Nature just ended up dying because and it really makes a lot of sense because Nandi says in this episode called 1914, or we'll always have Bourbon Street when it comes to TVD. In that episode with Damon and Stephen going back to New Orleans, right? Nandi says the magic, you feel me? Mind you, expression is not monitored by the spirits or not monitored by nature. You feel me? The magic is so dangerous and so dark that if it stays on this mortal plane, it will swallow it whole. Which is why nature would need to create a doppelganger, a whole nother supernatural species, basically, to account for Silas and Amara being immortal. You know what I mean? That's my bad, y'all. Anyways, that's like the previous. So like travelers are the mind you, this is a whole presumption situation of like, oh my gosh, how do you know the travelers even used expression? Because Silas convinced Shane to teach Bonnie expression in order to in order to find where or locate where he was at. You feel me? Have the power to locate where he was at. You know what I mean? And of course to like take away the other side, right? Just and that's the thing though, right? The whole Shane of it all, right? This is very intricate as well because did Silas, mind you, there is a point where where Shane says, "My wife used to do expression. My wife died from expression." Da da da. So he could have like took it upon himself to teach her expression, a magic powerful enough to bring down the other side, bring down the other side. The anchor has to, you feel me, whatever. But yeah, just to teach her a powerful enough magic. Or it could have been Silas being like, teach her expression. Teach her expression, you feel me? Shane says, you feel me? That's his excuse. That's his reasoning for the whole. giving Bonnie expression situation and doing it right this time, da da da, because his wife had expression, da da da, stuff like that. But in truth, Silas convincing Shane to go seek out Bonnie, a Ketsia descendant, is such an interesting situation because you could have been teaching her the wrong magic. Genuinely, you could have been teaching her the wrong magic and it would have been useless. You know what I mean? The whole, oh my gosh, potential of bringing down the other side would have been completely useless if you taught her the wrong magic. So why would Silas be okay with you teaching her expression if expression is not a power? If he don't know the magic form and if he don't know the expression is powerful enough to actually get it done, get her done. You feel me? Or is a magical power, magical um, magic, right? Powerful magic, right? If we're talking about, that's how I think that like the what's called travelers use expression, or at least Silas and Ketsia. When we're talking, mind you, that's pre, right? That's like this is pre-information. This is like travelers is part of the original coven, da da da, stuff like that. But let's go to like after the Mara Ketsia side situation. After that, Ketsia dies by the travelers. They have like Amara as the anchor of the travelers, try to like shield Amara, right? Because she's the anchor now, and like let's just like you know what I mean. Let's just well, like she travels with us, da da da. She's stoned, she's stoned, everything. When we're talking about, let me see. Oh yeah, 500 years after that situation. Yeah, 500. Well, actually, 500 years after the whole Silas Ketsia and Amara situation incident, right? Scandal, right? Silas has built up this following. You feel me? And it's not like just 500 years. It's just now he's building it up, but like through the years he's been building up this following for centuries, and mind you, through a tomb, no less. Right? It's really crazy. But that's wild. He's moving like prime Jesus. But anyways, there's also 500 years later to where we have Marcos. Who is Marcos, right? He just comes about, right? And he's this new traveler, a leader person, right? He's alive, right? He's a new traveler leader, right? And he doesn't know where the doppelgangers are. We have Amara, she's stoned. You know what I mean? She's not going anywhere. We know where Silas, well, we don't know. We don't even know. It's been 500 years. We don't know where Silas is, to be honest. For real, most likely. But we have this whole situation of like, okay, we got Amara, she's stoned, but we don't know where the doppelgangers are. All right, cool. Let me create this proximity spell. That's exactly what it is, a proximity spell, to where the doppelgangers have to be near each other. I don't know what the doppelgangers are, but if we have it to where the doppelgangers have to be near each other, then we should be good. So if you find one doppelganger, we can find another. Either we can find a male version, we can find a woman version. If we find a woman version, we can find a male version, right? They're probably like a state away. You feel me? A city away. Well, they're in the same state, but a city away from each other. You feel me? So when we're talking about Mystic Falls and what's it called, Virginia, we could talk about. Well, then again, I don't, I don't want to look like a absolute ridiculous chicken nugget, but we have Virginia. Well, we have Virginia here, and then we have Atlanta over there, which is like a state away, right? God, that was horrible. But yeah, Virginia is a state, right? And Atlanta is a part of Georgia. So Virginia and Georgia, right? Two different zones. So a state away. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Like two different states, basically. Like one state. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. But anyways, because in Georgia they find, well, in Atlanta, Georgia, they find Tom. But if you go to Virginia, you're gonna find Stefan, right? They have no blood relation, but they're doppelgangers, right? So, and then not even just that, right? That's not even that. Let's forget that, right? Let's talk about how like if we're talking about a proximity spell, in 1992, Elena's born. 1994, Stefan's in Mystic Falls, right? They're like the male version, the woman version of the doppelgangers are near each other. They don't know each other. They're not in love. You know what I mean? It's a proximity spell. You feel me? Let's throw away the whole. Of course, that's cool too. You feel me? But let's throw that away. Let's throw that away really quickly because that's just like the male line, right? The whole Thomas Stephen situation. Let's talk about the proximity spell and the way that it, like the proximity spell, the way that it works on the male and versus woman situation, right? Male and woman situation to combine, right? To bring the doppelgangers together. Like I said again, 1992, Elena's born. 1994, Stephen's in Mystic Falls. You feel me? He's in Mystic Falls chilling, and with a whoop. They're not in love. She's like, she's just born. You feel me? Like, so it's a proximity situation more so than anything else. And then we have 2009, right? He comes back to Mystic Falls for some we know a reason, but I don't know if I get super deep into that. But he goes back to Mystic Falls, right? And it's a proximity spell. What is funny though is that Marcos is hilarious. He adds a little, what's it called, a little fake little situation to where he says, "Man, true love," right? So he does a proximity spell, but he veils it with this false pretense that there's going to be true love, right? If these two people find each other, literally, that's what he. That killed me. Yo. Marcos is hilarious because it's not a love spell. It's just a proximity spell. But this whole like fake prophecy of this whole love situation is what I guess brought a lot of the other doppelgangers together over the centuries or whatever the heck. Which is so weird though. Because if Steph is a doppelganger and Elena is a doppelganger, this love situation, right? This whole true love, you feel me? Wouldn't we would have seen in like season 1 or 2 and 3, like this whole little thing of like, oh my gosh, I love her, da 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 da, da. And we would have seen like visions of like da da da. But then again, it was like really insane. They did like be engulfed with each other. You know what I mean? From the moment that they met, honestly. Well, pretty much. When we're talking about that situation, okay, cool. That's how you keep the male version and woman version of the doppelgangers in proximity to each other. They don't have to fall in love, but they have to be in proximity because when we pull up, when the travelers pull up, right, we need their blood. And why do we need their blood, right? Let's go back many years. Let's go back many years. By the time, by the way, guys, by the time that Marcos is the traveler's leader, his people are already cursed by the conventional witches. So we have to go all the way back. Okay, let's go back some more. After Kessia's death, the witch community split apart. There's conventional witches who want to serve nature, and then there's travelers who want to do whatever the hell they want to do with their powers. You know what I mean? And the conventional witches is scared shitless. And so what they do is they curse them. Wham! Place a curse on them. Wham! You remember how once they had Inado inside of the originals, right? Inside the original's body and stuff like that? That they couldn't meet up without a catastrophe happening. That's exactly what happened when it came to the travelers, or when Davina had like a trillion bodies. I said trillion bodies. When Davina had like 5 different girls' magic flowing through her. You feel me? That's exact. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna say that, but that's damn near. You feel me? That's pretty much what was happening to Davina. Like fire, rain, water, earth. You think me like it really get like that for real once they start placing them big ass spells on you. You feel me? It's over with, boy. But okay, cool. Um, so the whole curse situation was around even like after Cassius' death. The conventional witches placed a curse on the travelers. Okay, cool. They can't really meet up like that anymore with a whoop. 500 years later, Marcos, a traveler leader, the curse is still on his people. He wants that curse to be lifted. How's that curse being lifted? He got to find the doppelgangers. Not Amara. Amara's right here. Not Silas. Silas over there somewhere. You feel me? We have to find the doppelgangers. We have to use their blood, and then we should be fine. We should be fine. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh. But then there's something deeper though, right? You feel me? There's a little extra spice to it, you know what I mean? Because well, they have to use their blood to like break this curse situation. But they're also using this blood to like they're also using the doppelgangers to like have this control over the witches, right? So the witches has had control over them for centuries. You feel me? Thousands of years, if we're being honest, like 2 millennia to be honest. But with this, which is a lot of people forget. I mean, a lot of people don't feel that animosity when it comes to Marcos or the travelers. But the witch war has been happening for 2,000 years, gang. After Kessia dies, immediately the witches are like freaking the travelers gets cursed by the conventional witches, right? The Grahams of the world, right? You feel me? Um, so when we're talking about like the animosity there is heightened. It's really heightened. And Marcos has this idea to where like, okay, we're just gonna take away all magic, right? Whatever is magic, we're done. Because mind you, They couldn't meet up together, so they started interacting. The travelers couldn't meet up together, so they started interacting with magic differently, completely differently from normal witches. You feel me? And it became like this whole like another word for like pure magic, right? Pure magic or impure magic, but I think it's pure magic. You feel me? They started to delve into like really different magic, really different magic, super different from like witches, or just interact with it different from witches. Anyways, now their whole situation is that like they want to use the doppelganger blood to like undo their curse. Okay, that's cool, but they also wanted to use it to like destroy all magic that is they don't deem pure. You feel me? Because travelers, because they've been like freaking cursed by witches so much and put down because of their own magic, right? Their own, you feel me, grandiose, you feel me, powers, you feel me? They're like, okay, forget y'all. We gonna all y'all magic is like bullcrap. Y'all magic phony gang. You feel me? All this worshiping nature shit, that's dead. You feel me? So what they do is they wham reverse that shit. So you created vampires? Nope. Sorry. Takes away the magic. Wham. Now you're back human. Sorry. And then the power so crazy is, well, the magic so crazy is that when you step over the line, you don't just become human again. They snap your shit. They snap your neck or something like that because you maybe turn into a vampire and you gotta die first, right? To turn into a vampire, right? We have like a werewolf, right? Well, we have like a hybrid, right? When it comes to Tyler, gotta snap your shit. You dig me? But then again, like if you're a werewolf, if you're just like a regular werewolf, you'll be fine. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you feel me? You'll be fine. I'm pretty sure. So yeah. Wait. I mean, yeah, I guess you would be fine theoretically, right? Because you don't have to like kill anyone. You feel me? But a lot of vampires, mollywopped. You feel me? Real rap. Sloan got mollywopped too. Right there. But it's fine though. Um, that's pretty much the traveler lore, to be honest. Let me go deeper. Let me see. Traveler lore. Yeah, that's me explaining the traveler lore. Hope you guys enjoyed. That's let me see, 500 years. Everything else that we see in like the later years, in like season 5 or something like that, that's just like I feel like you can see that for yourself and be like, okay, you can go back to it now and you'd be like, okay, I see what's happening. Oh, so that's why Marcos hated the witches, right? Because the travelers been over here and they have their own insane amount of power, but they was like condemned for it, and they just had to see other witches practice this bull crap level of magic that is not strong, that is actually horrendous and weak. You feel me? And the moment they had the chance to take off their curse, and like also add on the fact that we're gonna just destroy your magic. Any magic you did making vampires, donezo. It's done. You feel me? We're just gonna reverse all that. They crazy, yo. I love it. The whole spell, the whole Mystic Falls situation, and they made like a circle drum. They was like some. This is really our territory. We stamped. You feel me? We really in it for real. For like 2,000 years, they couldn't even meet up. But now it's like this our town, gang. Real rap. You feel me? We taking it over. The colonized become the colonizer. I'm talking about the colonized. I'm dead. The oppressed become the oppressor, so to speak. You feel me? The yeah. But this is yeah. That's the traveler lore. Like the video, subscribe, hit the post notification bell, and I'll see you guys in another Meechie Explains video. Smash a like button, smash a like button, smash a like button. What up? What? Nobody got the reference.